The hardest part of being in a relationship that doesn't fully satisfy you is never leaving. It's the inner war. If I leave, will I ever feel this connection again? But if I stay, will I always be emotionally starved? And you might know all the right things in your head and still find yourself stuck in the same patterns. That's because most methods only focus on one part of you. Books, coaching, and therapy can help you think your way out of pain or even maybe feel your emotions, but they rarely help you connect what you feel with what you think. And very few methods go deep enough to include your body at the same time. The conflicts you see in your life are just reflections of the conflict happening inside between your mind, your feelings, and your body. And when that happens, we almost always end up in trauma bonds instead of real closeness. Over time, those trauma bonds make the split between your mind, feelings, and body even bigger. That's what re-traumatization means. It's like living through the same emotional wounds over and over again. And 4 years ago, I started developing my own method without even realizing it because I saw how slow the results were from everything I had tried. And my method works differently. It helps your body, mind, and feelings finally work together. And when they do, the inner conflict disappears. That's when you can either transform your relationship into the connection you truly want, or gently step away if needed and build the love you've always dreamed of. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the 3 types of trauma bonds and how to spot which one might be keeping you stuck. And in the end, I'll reveal the one core belief I discovered after working with over 100 people, the belief that keeps so many stuck in unhappy relationships. Before I share the different types of trauma bonds, there is something important you need to know. There is one thing that is not just a sign you're in a trauma bond. It's often the reason you can't attract the relationship you truly want. In healthy love, your need for closeness is consistently met. This makes you feel safe and able to be fully present in every part of your life. But trauma bonds always carry one hidden thread: waiting. Sometimes it's obvious, waiting for their decision, waiting for a sign, or one more conversation to finally bring clarity, even long after the relationship has ended. But sometimes waiting becomes undetectable to you, like when you subconsciously start avoiding new relationships, feel guilty when you start to feel happy again, or secretly hope that if you cross paths, something might still happen. But here is what nobody talks about. Waiting is actually a form of control. It's an attempt to manage the situation through silence and hope. Waiting isn't patience, it's fear. Control is just fear's way of trying to feel safe. That's why wherever there is control, there is always fear. And so often we disguise that control as something acceptable. For example, waiting. Deep down, you believe that if you show how you really feel, who you truly are, and stand up for what you really need, everything might fall apart, that the relationship might break. Fear is what separates love from a trauma bond. And inside my course, I dedicate a whole week to transforming your relationship with fear. You'll start seeing how fear shapes your choices. And of course, there will be practical tools to break free. If you have a vision for the relationship you truly want, trust me, the universe wants that for you too. And after all, it's been said for centuries, what you seek is also seeking you. Fear is what blocks you from attracting the partner you truly want, because it always makes you settle for less. And it often hides in ways you don't even notice. Our subconscious only allows in as much love and closeness as it thinks we could handle losing. Anything more feels too risky, and a part of you will sabotage the relationship to protect us from the pain. Anything more feels too risky, and then a part of us will sabotage the relationship to protect us from the pain. Many people say they are ready for the love they truly want, but here's the real question. What if that person appeared right now? Picture it, let yourself sit with that feeling for a few moments. Notice what's happening in your body. Your body always tells the truth about whether you're ready for the love you want. If you feel even a little bit of tension, that's fear speaking, fear that hasn't been detected or processed. And that's often why you keep getting pulled into trauma bonds. And in my course, we don't just work with your mind. It will help your body feel safe being close to the partner you truly want. Because if that's not addressed, it can turn into an invisible block that quietly sabotages the closeness you want. The painful truth is, as much as trauma bonds hurt, they still feel safer in the mind's eyes than allowing yourself to experience true closeness and facing the fear of losing it. There are 3 types of trauma bonds, and all of them are adaptations to fear. And this is your starting point. And if you recognize yourself in any of these patterns, that's actually great news, because it means you'll finally know exactly what you can change. The first type is what I call eclipse. This is when your relationship sounds like, I love you because I need you. It's an adaptation to the fear of abandonment and rejection. You suppress your own needs and merge completely into the other person. You lose yourself by mimicking your partner in order to feel safe. And I call it eclipse because you blend your life into theirs until you can't tell where you end and where they begin. The second type is halo. In this pattern, your relationship sounds like, I love you because you need me. It's still driven by fear of being left, but instead of merging, you become the one who's always rescuing, fixing, saving, understanding, and explaining. You forgive too quickly, even when it still hurts. You stay longer than you should, trying to prove your love can change everything. You believe if you just love enough, it will finally feel safe. But all that given eventually makes you fade into the background and you lose yourself along the way. And I call it halo because you become the glow around someone else's journey and lose track of your own. The third type is umbra. In this pattern, your relationship sounds like, I don't need you. It's another adaptation to fear, but instead of merging or rescuing, you reject your own need for closeness altogether. You withdraw or push people away to protect yourself, but deep down, your need for closeness remains painfully unmet. I call it umbra because you live in the shadows where it's hard to experience what it means to be truly seen by someone else. As you can see, trauma bond is always an adaptation for fear, but fear is not just a reaction to the threat. It's often a desire that feels frightening because of its intensity and the changes it might demand. Just acknowledging the desire for closeness often requires stepping out of your comfort zone, letting go of illusions, enduring the risk of being seen, vulnerability, and possibly being rejected. Fear draws the line between what you settle for and what you truly want. It's very important to figure out exactly what you are afraid to experience and then to tell yourself, behind this fear, I still see my desire for closeness. And that's the first shift of energy that moves you from fear toward your desire and toward secure love that sounds like, I need you because I love you. We often think that breaking up or divorce means the end of love. But when it comes to trauma bond leaving or even just trying to transform the relationship, it's not the end of love. And it's not the risk of the end of love. It's the end of a lie. The dangerous truth is this. Most people can't tell the difference between real closeness and a trauma bond. That's how they lose years in relationships that drain them, destroy their confidence, and leave them wondering if they'll ever be loved the way they deserve. And I've created a short test to help you spot which hidden pattern might be running your love life and whether what you are feeling is real love or a trauma bond keeping you stuck. DM me the word test and start the journey toward love that feels safe, connected, and real without analyzing and searching for answers for hours. And if you have any questions or if you are still unsure which trauma bond fits your situation, you are always welcome to reach out in the Facebook chat that I created as a safe space for people dealing with anxious avoidant dynamics to share, ask questions, and support each other through healing. And now, like I promised at the start, there is one mindset that almost always leads people into bad relationships. And it is this: people who keep questioning whether their feelings, reactions, or decisions are right or wrong nearly always end up stuck in bad relationships, because that mindset shifts your focus from what do I want for myself and how do I feel in these relationships to, is there something wrong with me? There is no right or wrong about you, only what works for you and what doesn't. And as always, please show some love to this channel, like, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.